This judge gave them one last chance, but what happened next shocked the entire courtroom.
Twice, and he was told that there was no warrant. Him and I spoke about it in depth. He understands how serious it is. Your Honor, if the court is willing, maybe to put him on a scram tether, and he will have no further violations in this matter. He's just asking for one more chance, Your Honor.
Response from the people.
Your Honor, we have concerns about this fall like pleading. I would note that it's not just one incident; it's on 2 different days, and that the report of the case of Mr. Fall was collected about the August 19th date. He admitted drinking, but then we have an August 24th date. So,
and also an August 26th date. It's on. That was. You may not have. Well, you should have. There was one report on August 20th, which has those 2 on it, I think. Maybe not. No, the 19th, and then he drank on the 24th, but then further down, he also then blew and numbers on the 26th. But there aren't any other readings because he didn't take the follow-up test.
and so, Your Honor, part of the reason that we find it concerning, believe that alcohol related fall with this, and that as far as the felonious assault charge, the alleged weapon is a wine bottle. So that's what gives us some concern. So I don't see why an alcohol tether is going to somehow ensure that this would fall by the bond conditions that he seems to have violated them multiple times when he was confronted.
Well, Your Honor, in response, although a wine bottle is allegedly involved, that's because these allegations took place at a store. He was not drinking at the time. There was no, I don't believe there was an alcohol test taken at the time of arrest. So there's not really a substance abuse problem involved. And I would say that the tether would be a constant reminder that if he does end up drinking, he's going to be remanded.
So blowing into a machine doesn't do that?
Well, Your Honor, I think the tether on his leg is and I've had serious conversations with him, Your Honor. He's just asking for one more chance. He's here today. He understood that there was a warrant for his arrest. He still came in. He did try to turn himself in a couple days ago when I originally told him that there was a no bond warrant. He does want to move forward, Your Honor. He's just asking for another chance.
3 occasions. Is he in any treatment or anything at this point?
No. Just at my church, I don't have proof for it though, and I did sign up for AA. I took like a hour-long test on it. I just got to get into.
Okay. Well, it looks like he is working on that, Your Honor. He's signed up.
Working on it.
Yes, he's signed up for treatment.
Between drinks. Bond revoked. Defendants remanded. Your name?
Melissa Kalminski.
All right. What are we doing on this case?
Your Honor, we're asking for an adjournment for negotiations and to review videos.
You've seen the bond violation report.
Yes, Your Honor, and we have discussed it and I'm ready to address it when the court is ready.
Yes, I'm ready to address it.
Ms. Konwinski stated that she did drink, but it was only that one day. This was a one-day slip-up. She didn't take the test within 15 minutes because she fell back asleep. She takes mental health medications at night, which has been reported to CMH, which make her fall asleep. She wasn't avoiding calls. One of the numbers that she gave was her boyfriend's number, and he said that he didn't receive any calls. The other number no longer works. She did believe they have her current number, but that phone only worked on Wi-Fi, but she recently got it switched to a phone with a SIM card, so it now works all the time. This Saturday, the 30th, she returns to work at Dunkin' Donuts. On the 11th of September, she will start a part-time inventory job. She also receives her Vivitrol on the 11th. On September 22nd, she has an appointment for mental health addiction recovery and an evaluation with IHA Trinity Health. She has been going to AA and has proof. Her letters of recommendations from
How long has she been going to AA?
she has the proof. How long have you been going?
I've been going over a year. It's a sunshine group. But since I've been out of rehab, this is what I have.
When did you get out of rehab?
I got out on the 15th
Of what?
August.
And she does acknowledge that
Instead of drinking by the 19th.
that was one day
One.
after. And since then, she has been testing negative. She has letters of recommendations from Bear River Health and one from her boss. She volunteered in Hanover, Michigan at Rust and Dust and has a letter from there also. She realized she slipped, and for the first time, she wants this court to know she caught herself and immediately got back on track. And normally when she slips, she goes on a bender. Ms. Konowinski is asking for more time to test instead of twice a day so that she is more accountable to herself and to the court. We ask this court to recognize that she had no violations after that date and to give her another chance, especially since she has appointments set up for her mental health and for her addiction. She is also here today knowing that she could be remanded. She would also like to address this court.
Good morning, Your Honor. I first off want to thank you for back in December of evicting me from my ex's house. I'm glad that you did. I did not want it because that was a safe spot to drink. And since being evicted, things have changed. It's come into a lot in my life. I don't have to be in that household with him. And for that, I thank you very much. During the eviction, I was scared because I was giving up my way of drinking. And to this day, if I would have still been there with that man, I would probably be dead. So I thank you for giving me the eviction. And I do acknowledge and admit my part in this addiction and what I did. I'm not saying it was right, but I want to be fully honest with my recovery completely with sobriety because I don't have any more to give.
Response from the people.
This is an overview I heard with 2 priors, both in 2021. This was a hit and run crash where the defendant was then located driving a vehicle with heavy front-end damage. She was so intoxicated they couldn't even do the field sobriety test. Eventually, her blood test showed she was a 0.280. I have no faith that she can be safe in the community right now. I'm extremely concerned that even with this gram Heather, given the levels that we see in the sober link testing, and I also know from the court, I'm sure the court's already seen it, it's towards the end of her testing window. So that leads me to have suspicion about what was it earlier in the day. I'm extremely concerned for public safety. Should she be released at all, I would ask that her bond be revoked and she be remanded. If the court is inclined to release her, I would absolutely request a scram tether. I don't think sober link is going to be sufficient to ensure public safety.
And Your Honor, I think she would be okay with that as she did ask for more times to test so that she could be more accountable to herself and to this court.
And Your Honor, I have to go back to that. I don't think more times to test is going to be an adequate solution here with somebody that's at a 0.28 crashes, runs from the scene and has 2 priors.
Let me clarify. I was saying that she would be okay with the scram tether.
He's currently in some type of program.
She starts her program on
22nd.
the 22nd.
IOP intensive outpatient.
IOP intensive outpatient.
When
September 22nd. She starts testing.
do I have that?
Floyd McFall stood in court, asking for one more chance. His lawyer said he'd tried turning himself in twice, but prosecutors weren't convinced. They said this wasn't one mistake, it was 3 separate violations. The judge listened, but the pattern was too clear. After hearing about multiple drinking incidents and failed tests, the judge finally said, bond revoked. Floyd was taken into custody.
Have that? Is it somewhere in writing?
I haven't done that.
She emailed it to me. I can send it to the court.
Well, you can send it to the court along with some order. There's got to be some structure. If she's not going to be in an IOP, I can't take the chance that she's gonna go on another one of these, hop into a vehicle, and this time take somebody out. I can't do that.
Well, Your Honor, she has been negative, and that was just the one day slip up.
Yeah, but that's all it's gonna take.
I
She's
understand.
got, this is her third.
I don't have a vehicle,
She is,
don't have a car. And I'm going to church and I'm doing AA and I volunteered. And I know what it looks like, but I wish people could see why I drink. To see the abuse and to see everything I went through. Why the hell I was living it.
ma'am, I get all of that. The problem is that what's gonna happen outside of the alcohol,
No.
you could potentially end up killing yourself just from the alcohol. But then all it takes is one of these slip ups and somebody else goes, somebody who had nothing to do with any of that abuse, had nothing to do with anything. They're all of a sudden wrapped into your world and your tragedy that you've been suffering. I get it.
I understand that, but I haven't drove in over a year or 2 years. I'm willing to go with alcohol tether, and I'm fine with that, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, she now keeps in contact with me as a support system. She calls me weekly and we talk.
And I have like letters.
Got to put together something. I'll consider it next week in terms of programming or something like that that she's involved in.
Okay.
But
I do have IOP set up. I do have it set up with Medicaid rides and everything. I've been really working hard since I've been out to get back on my feet.
Going to happen again. Defendant's bond is revoked during the probable cause conference, September 4th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, September 4th, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for probable cause conference. At this time, we're going to be asking for an adjournment to continue negotiations, as well as give my client some time to hopefully pay off some of the restitution in exchange for a better offer.
Before I set the date on an adjournment, she has a no bond warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
That.
As to the violation, Your Honor, my client still has the tether on her leg. As to the explanation, Your Honor, she tells me she was riding her bike and the tether got caught in her bike and like with the pedal, so she kind of had to adjust it. She lives far away from community corrections. That's why she wasn't able to go in and
get a broken phone too. I had my number to the tether guy in my phone and I had no way to contact.
So the tether came off in a pedal.
No, it's still on. It just pulled it and it poked it. Like there's something poking through
Did you
it.
call community corrections at any point?
That's what I'm saying. I was able to, I didn't know who to call except for the tether officer, Mr. Levitt, but it was saved in my phone.
Was your tether going off?
Broken. It was going off, but I was on my bike and I was kind of scared, so I wasn't sure where or what to do. I did call my mom right away. As soon as not call her, but I went to her work. I rode my bike to her work actually, and tried to use her phone, but I wasn't able to while she was using it for work.
So if you didn't know where to call, what were you going to do with her phone?
I was going to call the public defender, which I did. I was able to email someone that following Monday because it was on a Friday, but I did text Hannah Mackey from the public defender that night when I was able to use her phone. Explaining that there was an issue and that I didn't have a way to contact. And then when I did finally get a hold of him and left a message out until tomorrow, I think, but I was waiting for someone to contact.
Did you go to the community corrections?
I called them. I did when I finally was able to figure out who to call when I got the email.
When did you call them?
I called.
How many days after this alarm went off?
Well, it happened on Friday, and then I got the number to call the community corrections that following Monday. I called and left a message for Mr. Levitt. I think I left the message actually today.
Your Honor, I just want to say that this is a tether was put on because I believe for a previous failure to appear, and she is here today, Your Honor. So it shows that she does want to comply with the court order. She does want to be here. She does want to handle her case.
But she doesn't want to comply. Have you been to the community corrections at all?
No, I live in Jackson. I was lucky to get here today. I wasn't even sure what was going on. I don't have a vehicle, and or a phone at the moment, so I was requesting things through email as well, or trying to. I'm still charging it as well. Like, I'm not trying not to.
She's not
go
trying
through
to
with this.
she's not trying to abscond, Your Honor. She's not trying to disobey the court orders.